Manchester United 2, Tottenham Hotspur 2. A game that is difficult to break down. It was a scrappy game, a scruffy game. The scoreline, I think, presents a narrative that the game itself didn't tell. I feel like both teams were really poor in the final third. There were some really good performances from Tottenham that we should and will go through and celebrate, considering the 11 that we had out there. It was a difficult before the game to see how Tottenham were going to control and dominate the midfield without much creativity. But from a Tottenham perspective, one particular man in that midfield really did shine and go forward and take the game by the scruff of the neck. It was a game that Tottenham should feel like we should have won. The amount of possession that we had, the amount of opportunities that we had to carve more out from the final third that didn't materialize. Tottenham should feel a little bit disappointed. But you know what? With the amount of injuries we've sustained, the amount of playing time that this particular 11 have had together, and going away to Manchester United, who were playing in front of their new owner or part owner, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who had a spirited performance from Manchester United. They started early. They started bright. We're going to go through the whole game right now, ladies and gentlemen. Lots to talk about. I think Henry's going to come on. I'm not sure if Sava might want to come on as well. I'm going to text him in a second. And we're going to talk about everything. Big up to you all. Please smash the like button for me, as you always do. There's 400 people in the house. I can see Sava's raided over this way. Appreciate that, Sava. Good man. Hit the subscribe button as well if you haven't already, guys. It's free to do. Really helps the channel out. We're on the march towards 22,200 or something like that. He's in the house. Football Sava's in the house. Let me see if let me get the thing. See if he wants to come over and join. We are going to be here for about an hour and 15 minutes, guys. Lots to discuss. And where do we start, guys? Well, let's start at the very top of the game. Let's get the first and foremost. Let's get the he did call it. Saba did call it. He said 2-2. I think a lot of people said it would be high scoring, but I think for me, guys, I felt like the game was a bit rubbish. I thought it was rough around the edges. I felt like we gave the ball away too many times. I felt like they gave the ball away so many times. There was individual performances that I think we should celebrate. I thought Destiny Udogie was spectacular. Garnacho did not have really any success against Destiny Udogie when they had the ball down our left, down their right-hand side. Pedro Porro, I'm really interested to know what your thoughts are on his performance in the chat, because I think depending on how you look at it, you could say, well, off the ball, Rashford had him on toast, especially at least in the first half. Maybe in the second half, there was a bit of a switch up of tactics. But with the ball, Pedro Porro ran all day. He put the absolutely insane amount of running and ground covered from Pedro Porro, banging the ball left, right, and every other direction. His corner kicks were sensational. And it was one of those days where it could have gone either way. And if I'm honest, guys, I'm going to walk away thinking 2-2 wasn't a bad shout. Before I bring the boys in, Sava's in the background, as is Henry. Just quickly, I know we're going to talk about this, but for me, Rodrigo Bentancur was absolutely sensational today. Those three players, Bentancur, Porro on the ball, Udogie out of this world. I've got so much negative stuff to say about a certain player on the right, and I've got so many things I want to say about a certain guy in the midfield in Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. I don't think I've ever seen a more lackluster effort from him. I think he gave the ball away more times than he actually had the ball in that first half. Here the boys are, Sava and Henry. Big up, guys. How you doing?
Yeah, good, mate.
Yeah, good.
Annoyed that we didn't win the game.
What are we saying?
Should have won the game.
Should have won the game?
I think so, yeah. I think we had we had the amount of times we got in the right areas with Johnson and Werner, and the final ball was just not like the amount of times we got down in the right areas, and the final ball for me wasn't good enough. We completely dictated the game. I think we had something like 65% possession, but it's once again it's poor defending, mate. It's Porro. I mean, what's he doing for both goals? I have no idea. I mean, on another day, Romero takes that chance, but you could say on another day that, you know, Udogie puts one in the back of our net. I personally think we should have won that game. The amount of chances we created, or at least got in the area to create a chance. But like I said, the final ball from Johnson and Timo Werner was just not good enough for me today.
Sava, I mean, the momentumometer is up on the screen, I think. Is it on the screen? It is. It shows a pretty clear story that Tottenham had the most of the possession. Did they have the best chances in the game?
To be honest, I didn't think there was too much clear cut from either side. If we take the goals away, I thought it was a lot of half chances for teams, a lot of snatching at it. Like, you know, this is why stats sometimes do my head in, because there was a lot of chances today where you could say, if someone had got on the end of a good corner from Porro, and United would say, what if Rashford was a little bit more clinical, like all the times he runs through and tries to do too much. Look, I thought a draw was about fair. I think we knew what they were going to do before the game. We all knew they were going to do that, right? They were going to tuck in and they were going to try and hit us with those first-time balls over the top. I think we saw it more in the first half. Bruno Fernandes, every ball was a first time, looking for Garnacho, looking for Rashford, looking for Højlund. Not as much second half, but I just felt that the difference today was when you watched Garnacho get the ball out wide, try and take his man on, he put in some really good balls into dangerous areas. When you looked at our wingers, they can't cross a ball for love nor money. I think that's fit for me. I do agree with Henry. We had more of the ball, but I think we got lucky with a doggy, the header, and at the end there, whose heart wasn't in their mouth when McTominay was standing with no one marking him 4 yards out from goal.
Oh no, what have we done? We've gifted them the point. And I said this before the game. I said, I feel like this could be one of those games where Tottenham dominate possession, where we absolutely, like, we on all of the kind of irrelevant metrics, where people were going to say, because we dominate possession, we deserve to win the game. But I feel like Manchester United are one of these teams that can play badly and have done it about 8 times this season, played badly and won. And when that ball gets whipped in, what a delicious cross in the final second, in the 95th minute for McTominay to seal the points. Didn't happen. But I think I've got to talk. I want to start the analysis, guys, at the front. I want to reverse engineer this. For me, the width today, I feel like it was a direct instruction for Timo Werner to stand on the touchline and for Brennan Johnson to stand on the touchline. They were so wide at times that, and then when the ball was on the right-hand side, Werner didn't realize it, wasn't coming in and kind of getting towards the back post. There were 2 or 3 crosses that were in decent areas from, I think, Pedro Porro put one in, and certainly Brennan Johnson tried, and Werner was like still on the touchline. I was like, he needs to figure out that that's not an instruction throughout the game. When there's an opportunity, you've got to get on there. And the same when it was coming from the left. Brennan Johnson was nowhere to be seen on the right-hand side of the back post. I'm like, I don't understand why you're standing. I get it if you're trying to create width, but not all the time, right, Henry? Did you notice that?
Isn't it like they go so wide, and then we've got your doggy and Porro that come in, but yeah, not for the entire game. At one point, it was like we were trying to stretch United's defense, but after 10 minutes, they just cottoned on to what we were doing. Yeah. It looked like they just went, okay, if that's what they're going to do, then we're fine with that. United, look, the entire game, United were happy to just, like Sava says, sit in and counter us. As soon as Rashford makes that run, you know Bruno's going to get the ball and play that pass. The problem for us is the major, come away from that game, the major problem with that front three is, like Sava just said about 5 minutes ago, we don't have anyone in our team that can cross a ball for toffee in those forwards. We haven't got anyone. Johnson gets the ball, and you know when he runs at a player, he crosses it. When he crosses it, he should run at a player. You can't. I don't think you can really, be too critical of Timo Werner because it's his first game in a Spurs shirt, and he did some okay things in the final third. I mean, that shot in the first half, I don't think it's worth even talking about. But
It's embarrassing.
Richarlison was. I mean, he took his header really well, and he did some other good stuff. But the big factor is if we're trying to cross the ball with these forwards, that's not for me, that's not the way I'd play. I'd be playing it constantly in behind and using the pace of Johnson and using the pace of Werner. We can't cross a ball. The best crosser of the ball at the football club who's fit is Pedro Porro. And unless we're playing Porro in the second half, I was like, why don't we bring on Royale and move Porro further?
Porro to right wing.
Or drag us, right?
Because there's so much space.
Well. Yeah.
There's so much space there for someone to put a good ball in. And if you've got Richarlison, who's already proved this season he can win a header, why are we not doing that? I mean, Johnson today, I was screaming at the flipping telly, take him on, and he doesn't.
Yeah, I think it's too soon. Like with Werner, I mean, look, he hasn't played for a while. Like I don't think anyone can come in and we just go, oh my God, he's rubbish. Listen, Werner, if we're going to be kind and say that's an assist, he got an assist. I don't think he did anything terrible. I think it was a pattern of the game that we got so much of the ball to those two out wide. But at any point, did any of you think, when you saw them get it, did any of you think this is going to result in a great ball in? This is going to be a pinpoint cross. I think when it goes to Brennan Johnson, I literally just go, well, that's the end of the move. And I know that's awful. People will have a go at me. But
you've got to remember marks about him, mate.
These are the two forwards. These are the two forwards he's brought in. So he's got to listen, game one for Werner, sure. He's got to make that work. These are the two he's brought in. These are his last two signings, right, in forward areas. So, look, I thought a point away at Old Trafford, 2-2. I don't think it's the worst point in the world with the subs.
£47 million, though.
With the injury. Mate, I know, listen, I got crucified on my
Palmer
show
at
this morning.
40. Flipping Kudus at 42 million.
And Anthony Gordon at Newcastle. These players are miles better than Brennan Johnson.
He's got all this pace and doesn't know how to use it. With the ball. He's a off the ball. He's got pace. If you're playing in a certain system like at Forest where you're counter-attacking and putting the ball over the top, then you're going to have that pace to utilize. But in this system, more often than not, the ball is going to need to be at his feet and he's going to need to find a way to either use that pace or do things better. There's massive question marks about him. I think that anyone that says that you can't criticize or you can't analyze and come to a pessimistic opinion on him, I think has got rose tinted spectacles on, because I just don't think today and most of the time he looks anything like the sort of player that
Sean,
commands that sort of price tag.
I want to say something, and then I want to ask you two a question, if it's all right. So first and foremost, for me, it's not just on the ball. I don't know if anyone was watching that game closely. The number of times people just went past him at ease, like he was brushed off the ball. People just brushing him away. I don't know. Look, the question I want to ask you two: are either of you surprised or disappointed by him? Because I'm not. This is what I thought we were signing. I'm not surprised by it. We've seen enough of him at Nottingham Forest to know he played for a counter-attacking team in Nottingham Forest that just tried to spring the counter-attack the way Man United did today. That's very different to playing in a team where you have a lot of the football and you have to be integral. There's a huge difference.
He'd have been perfect in that Conte team.
Yes.
I can't believe we've gone and spent £47 million at Forest and not come away with Gibbs White.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like some of the players, some of the wingers that other teams have signed, and and it's an Ange player. We've got to now kind of ride or die with Johnson. But I think we did a lot more when he'll come on. He actually got the ball and actually wanted. He's the only one of our wingers who actually wants to run at a player, other than Son. He's the only one who gets in the ball and wants to actually run at the fullback. Like I don't get why when Johnson and Werner got the ball today, they get close and then it's like, and they pass it back to the fullback. Just run at the fullback.
Henry, would you say the word for both of them? We know they're both lightning quick. Would you just say it's about two things, composure and finesse? Yeah, because you can have wingers who are lightning quick, or you can have wingers that when they put their foot on the ball, you think, yeah, you're gonna already have looked up. You know which space to put the ball into. Right. Like, by the way, I don't think Garnacho was great today. I'm just picking on a couple of circumstances where he did. He looked up and his ball's into the box, especially the one from McTominay. And there was one where he whipped it across the 6-yard box that Porro put out for a corner. And I thought, that's what you want. And I don't even particularly go, oh, Garnacho's great. But that's what I think we need. We need a winger that goes, where do I deliver this ball into? But look, I don't think it was the worst performance I've ever seen. I thought both teams looked really, really tired. And I don't know about you guys. I thought the second half was sloppy from everyone on the pitch. I thought everyone was just giving it away.
On it, though, it's a point at Etihad, Emirates, and Old Trafford away from home. We've only lost once to the Big Six. I come away from that game.
Agreed.
I think we should have won that game.
I would have taken the point
we had.
I would have, when I saw the starting 11, I was like, oh, without Kulusevski and playing that midfield three of Højbjerg, Skip, and Bentancur, I was like, where's the creativity? There's, I've seen more creativity in a crash. Like it was worrying. So I would have taken the point at the start of the game before I saw us get there. But like Manchester United were terrible. They were awful at times as well. They couldn't get hold of the ball. I think both midfields were just shockingly sloppy.
Agreed.
I really want to take a second here to go after a certain player. Like I don't, I was so angry with this player, and I was talking in WhatsApp groups during the game, and I don't think other people agreed with me. So I want to make sure, I want to get your take on this, guys, and let us know in the comment section. But before we do, just quickly on the Johnson thing, a couple of super chats. Can't believe we spent 50 million on Johnson. Edward, I think we're all on that kind of wavelength right now, and it looks like we're going to have to hope that he's going to improve over the rest of the season and into next year, season 2. Hopefully, I think you have to give him. But for me, I think he's just lacking. I think someone put it in the comments. Looks like a boy playing in a man's game. He doesn't have the bite. I don't think he likes taking players on. I don't think he's particularly quick foot. He hasn't got quick feet with the ball at his feet. So he's just a speed merchant in a system that doesn't really require that thing at the moment. So he's going to have to learn, and hopefully there's a bigger picture plan there. Orox Beats is saying rip up Johnson's contract. I'm pretty sure you're tongue in cheek there, mate. But I do appreciate it. And frankly, Tottenham is saving up. Frank, I hope if we had Son and Mad's game over, 100%. If we had any of the number of players that were out, I think we would have had enough to got the job done. But we didn't. I want to ask about Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, guys. To me, I thought it was one of his worst performances in a Tottenham shirt that I've seen. I think he gave the ball away, like I said, more times than I've ever seen before. I thought he was sloppy. And
much worse than Skip. Much worse than Skip.
Much worse than Skip, yeah. But I didn't think Skippy was great, but I thought that Højbjerg was absolutely shocking.
Yeah. Actually, when I looked at the midfield, the one I was worried about was Skip. I thought Højbjerg would do all right. But that game, mate, he's checked out. He doesn't want to be here.
Yeah.
You can see by his body language. It was another performance where you come away going, meh. Okay, it's okay. It's not great. But Skip today, I thought was okay. But Højbjerg, the amount of times he gave the ball away, building up to the final third, and then United would counter us. For me, it's if Maddison's not fully fit and Lo Celso's not fully fit, and we're playing Højbjerg in that Man City game, that to me raises big concerns, because if we're playing that same midfield against Man City,
we'll get walked over.
We get steamrolled.
Yeah.
And that's a big concern for me.
I think it was interesting because what we saw today, with both of them playing, you knew that one of them was going to have to step up and want to get on the ball. And listen, I'm going to give Højbjerg credit, and then it's going to end there, right? He always made himself available for the ball. But the problem by him always making himself available for the ball is I think we saw that he's not good enough to play this style of football. I think we've seen what type of team he needs to play in when he's in a Conte structure, when he's in a Jose structure, and it's more about not having the ball and the work rate and the tackling. I think, when you ask players to have a lot of the football, you then see, all right, not are you a good athlete, Not are you good in recovery, but what do you do as a footballer? And I just think he looks out of his depth. Skippy wasn't as bad as Højbjerg. He played one fantastic pass. He did play one fantastic.
Yeah, that was lovely. That delicious half volley thing, wasn't it? Yeah.
But other than that, I felt like look, we know that this isn't going to be our midfield. We know that, right? I think with the circumstances, I think Man United will be happy. They've got loads of injuries. I think we'll be happy-ish. We've got loads of injuries. Listen, should we have won? I mean, I've just looked. I think both teams had very similar touches in our own box. So, we did a lot without doing a lot, if that makes sense. But the good news is...
the stats up in a second to look through. And I think I'm getting the kind of negatives out of the way, because I think that we were poor at the top end of the pitch. I thought Richarlison, I will speak about Richarlison, but we've spoken about the two wingers, certainly spoken about Højbjerg. Just before we move on to some of the positives and look at the other details of the game, guys, as Ryan is saying in the house, shout out to Ryan, there's 1,000 people here and there's only 218 likes. If you haven't already, hit the like button, please. It's free to do and it helps the channel. And also, if you haven't already subscribed to Henry and Saba, their links are in the title. So make sure you click those links and get over there and hit their subscriber links as well. This, for me, that the midfield, the reason why I think we controlled the game, controlled the possession, and probably should have won the game, was because of the fact that we had a certain Rodrigo Bentancur, who I thought today was absolutely delicious. I thought he just showed why he's levels above the other two midfielders when it comes to technicality, it comes to the weight of passing. And I thought his energy all round the game and trying to bring the ball out, connecting really well with Pedro Porro, connecting with Destiny Udogie as they came in field, little triangles that got us up the pitch. I thought Bentancur just, if we can keep him fit and everyone else comes back, and for me, Bentancur is the first name on the team sheet when it comes to that midfield three, Henry.
Yeah, he's today he was by far the best player we had. His finish, by the way, was just exquisite.
Yeah.
People said in my chat, Kiwi should have done better because it was hit right at him. But for me, that you can't take it away. It's a fantastic finish. And he just showed, like you said, he showed levels. He's so far ahead of Højbjerg and Skip. And I think you're right. In the midfield, when you're picking the midfield now, he's got to start week in, week out. If you've got a fully fit Tottenham midfield, it's probably going to be Bissouma, Bentancur, and Maddison. But today, by far his best performance we've seen probably in a year in a Tottenham shirt. I know he's been out for a long, long time, but it's good to see him back fully fit. Speaking on another positive, I thought the way he's kind of taking this, I don't want to say leadership role, but the way he's kind of screaming at other players. I think, did you see it when he had I think he had a go at Porro for when he gave the ball went out for a throw in and he's screaming at Porro. That's what I want to see from a midfielder.
Yeah.
Not just creating defensively, but scoring goals, being a leader. I think he was our best player, and I think he was the best player on the pitch today for me. Who did actually get man of the match?
Bentancur.
I didn't see it.
Was
it Bentancur, was it? Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, Saba, what's your take on Bentancur this afternoon?
Yeah, look, other than I thought the last 15 minutes, I think you could see that he'd run his race. I think you could see he looked tired. I think Van der Ven, Romero. I think, look, it's a lot. These boys have been out for a very long time, so you'd expect that. But, I mean, some of his passing, the complete opposite to what we said about Højbjerg. When the ball gets to Bentancur's feet, he's going to have that time, that composure, that finesse, what we were talking about earlier. Yeah. And you can see that he's already scanned the pitch. He knows what he's going to do. Played some lovely, delicious passes in, kept it simple. And, look, yeah, he's levels above the other two, isn't he? Look, we knew that going into the game. And, listen, keep him fit. Like, that's the thing, right? What we don't want to do is just play him relentlessly to the point where he's burnt out. But, look, we've got a long time now until our next game. We've got 12 days until our next game. So,
City. What on earth are we going to do? What are we going to talk about, guys?
Hopefully buying a new right winger or a forward in the window. But look, he's got some time to recover, recoup, more training time for Van der Ven, more for Romero, because we won't be able to be that sloppy in midfield against City. I think we all know that, right? I think we've been really sloppy in midfield for the last 7 or 8 games, and you can get away with it against Kobe Mainu and Ericsson. You're not getting away with it against Kevin De Bruyne, Rodri, and Bernardo Silva. So, look, I'm really happy with the point today. I am. Yes, we could have got 3, but equally, my mind goes to they really could have stole it at the end, and the doggy with the post. So you got to take the good and the bad, positives that we came back twice.
100%.
About
that resilience to come back.
Like the potential injury news of Van de Ven. He looked immediately as he had. The way
he said it, didn't he?
He said it was crammed, but then immediately he went off. So the club are not taking any changes, but chances. But didn't Udogie go down as well, holding his ankle at one point?
Yeah, that was a bit of a knock. That from what it looked like, he got clattered by I forget who it was who came on and clattered him, but I'd be devastated if there's more injuries, but I don't think they both of them. Or there was not. It looked like we got through it today. Just a couple of super chats, and I don't want to get to the defenders until we finished off the attack, because I completely forgot to talk about Richarlison. We got a super chat that will start that conversation. Just quickly, Orox Beats, big up mate, says we need a new right winger ASAP and a new left winger. Just super quick, guys. Right now, if you had to pick one player to come in the rest of this January window to help us out as a loan deal, would you choose a central midfielder or would you choose a winger?
A winger. A proper winger. A proper winger. Not
a Jota. Something like that, yeah?
Pedro Neto.
Somebody that scares the crap out of fullbacks.
Yeah.
No, have we
got no money? We must have money. Where's the money gone?
I'm just saying, I think that it's different. Like, I've got a feeling that there'll be some really interesting bargains available, or not bargains, but deals available in the summer, because tomorrow we're going to find out which clubs have got themselves in a pickle with their FFP, and there might be some forced kind of liquidations of certain assets. So I would just, if an opportunity comes along, great. But if not, I'd rather, if you can get a loan deal and don't have to commit, get someone in, see if they're good.
I'd bite both your hands off of Pedro Neto at Wolves.
Has he got over his hamstring yet?
I'd buy him knowing he's got a hamstring injury. I don't care.
I just think the next time we buy a wide man, I think if you look at all of our signings, we can go through them. Look at all our signings of wide men in the last 3 or 4 years. Right, Perisic, old. Right, old. Solomon. We knew you might get a year out of him. Solomon is a decent squad player. Brennan Johnson, meh. Timo Werner's on loan. Brian Hill came in.
Dan Yuma.
Dan Yuma. I think the next one has got to be, guys. It's got to be someone that isn't there. He's there. Comes in and all the fan base go, he has to start. You know what I mean? Like he has to start. He is better than the others. And in the summer, we missed out on Cole Palmer, Kudus, Anthony Gordon last year. There's one more that I was saying the other day.
No one wanted Anthony Gordon, did they?
Musa Diaby. But, you've got players like Elise out there. For me, I just think that's what's needed for me to get to the next level. For the next level, that's what we need. You've got Son. No one's worried about that. We know what Son's going to do. I've still got massive question marks about every other player in that forward area. Every one. I
don't disagree. Don't disagree at all.
We spent a lot of money as well. Like 47 million on Brennan Johnson is 6+. Richarlison at the moment is kind of, dare I say it, the only forward he's doing their job.
He's pulling the weight. He's definitely pulling his weight right now. Was it six goals in 6 Premier League games? I think for Richarlison.
11 goal contributions this season.
Can I ask you guys? Sorry to bring up. I do need to jump in 2 minutes.
Do we have a bet about that, by the way? No, we don't. I don't think we did have a bet in the end.
No. Hang on.
What was that?
We did.
So I just want to say, I need to jump in a couple of minutes, but just quickly before, a couple of people have mentioned this guy in the chat, and I just think it would be a no-brainer. We've talked about him loads before. When you look at the complete lack of composure from us in forward areas, I fail to believe that anyone could still look at Paulo Dybala and say, this guy doesn't instantly make us a much better football team. playing anywhere. Like this is a guy that if you take what Brennan Johnson and Timo Werner are, this guy's the complete opposite. Yes, he's not got the lightning pace, but this is technical ability personified. Great touch, great control, great technique, through balls, clever 1-2s, goals. For me, I think we need that. I think we need something like that. That would be amazing.
I agree, mate. Yeah, listen, Damalo, and he's cheap as well. I think for the next couple of days, I think there's an expiring option
Tuesday
on him.
finishes apparently.
Tuesday.
Yeah,
because for me, that could be the difference between a 4th and a 5th. I'm not saying it will be, by the way. I'm not saying we can't get 4th. I'm just saying, like, a player like that coming in lifts everybody. A player like Werner coming in, you go, okay, cool, it's a loan. Player like Brennan Johnson, people are going to always be 50-50, right? Because you've got the people going, well, hang on, we paid 50 million for him. He's got to do it now. Other people going, oh, he's only 22, nearly 23, by the way. He's 23 in about 4 weeks. So for me, I think the next one has to be a bit of class. Not Ange will make him good. Do you know what I mean? It can't be another one of these water into wine. It needs to be buy the wine. Right?
Yeah.
Buy the wine. Don't buy the water.
Buy champagne.
But listen,
yeah.
I need to go. A good point. I wish I'd had a bet. Said 2 all week. Wish I'd had a bet. Didn't. And
appreciate you coming on, mate. Guys. Appreciate the redirect as well. I'll see you. I'll speak to you later on. I'll give you a call later.
See you later, guys. Yeah,
okay.
Take care. Bye.
Okay, mate. Bye.
Super chat here from Jeffrey LHCAS. Thank you very much for the super chat. He says, not even a Richie fan, but he was good today. Johnson absolutely woeful. Benny sloppy passes at times. Interesting. I thought he was really good, but overall good. Udogie was the man of the match for him. Yeah, I thought Udogie was fantastic. We're going to talk about the back four.
You think Udogie was fantastic?
I thought Udogie was. I thought defensively he was really good. Yeah, I thought he was really good defensively.
We watched the same game.
What?
Hang on.
He
He was this close. This close of scoring an own goal.
It was a fantastic header.
I know we're saying this, but come on, mate. That's
bullet header. No, okay. But apart from that, I thought he shepherded it out.
Passes, in the
you're getting cooked here, mate. You're getting cooked, mate. You're getting cooked.
Listen, no way was Udogie man of the match.
We're going to come to the back four in just a second. We've got lots to talk about. Guys, there's 1,100 people in the house, and not enough of you hit the like button. It's very easy to do. There's a little thumb down below. Just drum it. Drum the thumb. Get the likes up. It really helps the channel. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. Get over to Henry and to Sava. Their links are in the title. And we're going to be redirecting. What time does the show start? 8 o'clock, yeah?
Yeah, 8 o'clock. Yeah, so we've got at least an hour.
Okay, so if we're still going in an hour's time, then I will be redirecting over to Tottenham Takes on Henry's show. It's already set up, so the redirect will be going on anyway. But yeah, we're going to get over there at 8 o'clock. So Bentancur, you thought? Sorry. So let's start with the back four then. Destiny Udogie, you thought was terrible, was it?
No, I didn't say it was terrible. I wasn't arguing that he was bad.
Sounds like you said that.
No. I wasn't. I was arguing that I didn't think he was man of the match. Other than the header, I don't think he put a foot wrong. But I was saying, there's no way he was man of the match. There was no way he was better than Bentancur. Other than that header, yeah, he didn't really put a foot wrong. Porro, on the other hand, I don't know what he did for both those goals, mate. The first goal, I think at 3 out of 5 times in the first 70 minutes, Rashford got the better of him, and he couldn't deal with his pace. In the second half, he improved. He's so much better going forward than he is defensively. He proved that. Yeah. Some of the passes he was playing in that game were superb. The strike against Burnley was absolutely outrageous. Massive donation there from Simon. Big up to you, mate. What happened? You got quite a big super chat coming. Someone supporting the channel.
Oh, big up, Simon. Appreciate that, mate. Let's get to that straight away. Appreciate you, mate. Dutchy limped off to let the dragon on with cramp. I like that. Top 3 midfielders aren't here. Richie killed it, attack and defense. Oh, we haven't spoken. That's what I wanted to go back to. We haven't spoken about Richarlison. When we come back to him in a second. Warner and Johnson are speedy as F. So excited. Yeah, listen, I think that the dragon came on. We're going to talk about him as well. We're going to get to the back four. Really appreciate the super chat, Simon. Richarlison, what was your take on him today? Apart from that, obviously he scored his goal with the head. He was good, right? He was good all round. I thought he came back, linked the play up. He was fighting.
He's been good the last couple of games, mate. Like he's the one that's people have now taken the heat off and saying, hang on now. Richarlison is winning us games. He's got 6 in his last 6 in the Premier League. He's got 7 goals all season. That header is a fantastic header right down into the bottom bin. Like no keeper in the Premier League is getting anywhere near that. He was linking up the play. He was holding off the ball. He didn't make any silly challenges. He didn't dive in and get any reckless yuck cards that we've seen him do before. And you know what? Fair play, because we can all hold our hands up and say at the moment, Richarlison is by far contributing more than any forward in this football club at the moment. And we've all been very critical, and we can all say one way or another that we've come out and we've cussed Richarlison. But right now, like I don't see how you can not come away and say fair play Richarlison. You know?
Yeah. No, listen, I've been harsh
he was
on
living off
Richarlison.
scraps as well. He barely had any of the ball. Living off absolute scraps. It's like me when I found a crumb of Domino's from last night and I've flipping jumped underneath the sofa to get underneath it. You know, he's done an absolute he's lived off scraps the whole game, and he's come away with a goal and probably should have had a second as well.
Yeah, should have had a second. I think he's turning up. I think that, you know, the comments about him. I've been really harsh on not harsh. I've been really honest about Richarlison. I don't think he's a fantastic footballer, but you love the person, not the player. But look, I still think that Tottenham can and should do better if possible as a striker. I think that we should be looking at someone like Jimenez in the summer. But call it as you see it. He's been in sensational form, 6 goals in 6 games. He's helping us get through, and he's scoring important goals as well. When you go 1-0 down away at Old Trafford in the 2nd minute, I was sat on the couch going, "Oh, this is one of those. This is going to be one of those days. It's going to be a long afternoon." You know, with the team that's been put out there, new faces, not much time to gel. I thought this is going to be awful. And Pedro Porro putting those balls in that dangerous area. You know, let's be honest. If Sonny was on the pitch and Richarlison wasn't, then we don't win any of those headers. You know, and Richarlison's just a very, very good, very, very good in the air. He's strong in the air. He's not afraid to jump, and he's probably the only player in our front 4 or 5 that is willing to do that. Bentancur probably is also fairly decent in the air. But yeah, do you still share the same sort of ideas as me that if there is an option in the summer if he wants to leave or if he wants to go, would you cash in on him? Do you maintain the same belief about him as a player, or does that change the more goals and assists that he contributes?
Well, if a bid come in, I would 100% take it. But at the same time, not to play devil's advocate, if he comes and gets 15 Premier League goals this season, can you get rid of Richarlison if he scores 15 Premier League goals this season? I mean, I don't see many more strikers in the league right now that are.
You got rid of Harry Kane and he scored 25, didn't he, last year?
Yeah, that wasn't because we wanted to get rid of him. That because he wanted to go. I mean, right now in the league, how many more strikers are on better goal scoring form than him, other than Dominic Solanke?
None. But
let's say this form continues into March, and by March he's got 12, 13 Premier League goals with 7 or 5 or 6 assists.
How many assists has he got right now?
Let's have a look.
Mo's saying Santi will be the new Vincent Janssen. Wow. No, I'll keep Richie as backup.
He's got 7 goals, 3 assists. He's got 10 goal contributions
in half a season. Yeah.
So let's say he gets, I don't know, by March he's on 12 goals, 4 assists in 25. I mean, how many goals do we think? It's not necessarily him. It's if we had a wire player that was also scoring 8 to 10 a season, it wouldn't be so bad. But the fact that we're having to rely on Richarlison so much, you know, we've got through Burnley, we've got through. I think Brentford, regardless of Ivan Toney, I think we'll dispatch them 2 or 3-0. This Man City game we've got coming up, is probably going to be Richarlison's biggest game and these Tottenham players' biggest game of the season. So I want to see Brennan Johnson, Timo Werner. You cannot play like that in the final third against Manchester City because they will punish you. It doesn't matter who
What did you
plays.
make of Timo Werner today? Did you like? He wasn't afraid to get on the ball.
I thought he did well.
Do you think he was shooting unnecessarily? Like, I think he had 3 shots. All of them were woeful, but
He should have
I don't even think they were necessary to shoot. I think he was like one of them.
He was in a 1-on-1. He got past Dalot.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, the one where he scuffed it to the what to the.
He's got a point to prove. He's got a lot of like that Chelsea away game. I hope Timo Werner. I don't care if he has a disaster class for the remainder of the season, as long as he bags the winner at Stamford Bridge and kisses the Spurs badge. But today, it's like he's almost like he wants that goal, and then he'll settle down. But like I thought, he played some really nice passes into Richarlison in the first half. I thought he's a little bit more composed than Johnson when he gets on the ball. He doesn't look like he wants to rush anything immediately. But it's the same problem with Johnson. When he gets on the ball, he doesn't really want to take a player on. And then you bring Brian Hill off the bench, and he's the complete opposite. He does want to take players on. He does want to get down to the byline. But I don't think Timo Werner was bad today. It's his first day. He's probably had a maximum of 2 training sessions with Postecoglou. Anyone coming out cussing him, I think you need to give take a look in the mirror, because this guy has barely been here. Let's wait till April when he's got 3 months under Ange and he's probably got 10, 15 games. If he's still nowhere near the level, then yeah. But this is only a loan deal. This is only a patch.
I thought he was fine. I do think he was wasteful. I definitely agree with someone in the comments. I made a note saying I think he was wasteful as well. But I genuinely think that it's just like you said, mate. First game, can't expect too much. And there was there was very little creativity from the midfield. I thought, like I said at the start, I think the midfield was awful. I think we relied on Pedro Porro to get back into position. I do want to move to the back four, mate, and I do want to start with Pedro Porro. The first goal, people that will just look at the fact that it was scored down our left, down our right, down their left, as was the second goal to a degree. People will say that's Pedro Porro's area to defend. I would say that he was caught out, and as was discussed on Sky Sports on the commentary, that is the risk reward, right? If you're gonna bring the ball forward, and again, if you have to analyze who was responsible, I'm pretty sure it was Pierre-Emile Højbjerg who gave the ball away in the second minute for them to then break on us. And Pedro Porro does get back. It's
a great pass from Bruno Fernandes, right? It completely carves through our defense. But that's not for me the most concerning. For me, the most concerning is how easily Rashford was getting down to the byline past Porro, and he did it on a number of occasions.
Yeah,
like the first and second goal, calamity of errors. He runs into it. Him and Romero come into each other. He can't adjust his feet, and Rashford gets the shot away. But it's how easily Rashford was getting around him. Like I said, I think 3 or 5 times he got down to the byline and puts the ball in the box. If Man United have got an out-and-out goal scorer in there, if Man United have Haaland in the box, and he gets on the end of one of those balls that Rashford's putting in,
we're in trouble.
Then we're coming away with defeat. But Pedro Porro, it's like when he's caught out of position because he's so high up playing this inverted role, we can't come out and then scrutinise the fact that we're being counter-attacked and he's out of position. But fans will also give praise when Pedro Porro is out of position and scores an absolute worldie with Burnley. That's part
you've got to take the bitter with the better.
His role. Right? His role is going to be, he's always going to be kind of 65% attacking, 35% defending. He in the final third, he's the best crosser. I actually believe he's probably on a par with Perisic when it comes to crossing. His corners 9 out of 10 time are bang on the money in a dangerous area. But you got to take the rough for the smooth. You know, he gets caught out of position a lot because he's playing so far up.
He had 5 key passes in the game. 5 key passes, right? He
got more than most of our players.
Yeah, he got on 5 key passes, amazing. He won 5 out of 10 ground duels. He did give the ball away 28 times out of his 97 touches. 45 out of 56 accurate passes, 80% completion. 5 out of 20 crosses were on the money. 4 out of 7 long balls were on the money. Big chances created 1. Shots on target 1. And then defensively, clearances 3, block shots 1, interceptions 3, tackles 4. The only thing that's negative on these stats is that he was dribbled past 4 times by Rashford. Most of that in the first half. I felt like at half time things changed a little bit in the kind of back. There was a bit of a reorganization. I thought Romero came over and did a little bit more help, or gave Porro a little bit more help. I think Skippy got back and sort of got stuck in a little bit more, because Brennan Johnson sure as hell doesn't and wasn't.
So that's where Star would be playing that kind of sweeping role and getting out and helping Porro a lot more. We didn't have that. But Pedro Porro has got 7 assists this season. The only players that have got more assists is Salah and Watkins. So
he's doing wonders for your FPL, isn't he? I need to put him in.
I mean, we can see 2 goals and he still gets me 4 points. So I'll take that every day of the week. You know.
What do you think about this thing from Defish? I've got a few super chats I want to get through. From Defisher, good to see you, mate. My biggest concern is our defenders hampering themselves with their hands behind their backs. I don't know if you saw that, if you weren't listening to the commentary, but they brought it up at half time on Sky Sports. Romero, Porro, Van der Ven, all 3 of them, every time we were going in for challenges when there was like a kerfuffle and a bit of mayhem in the box, they had their hands behind their backs, holding their hands obviously behind their backs so that they weren't going to get given as a handball. But then if the ball was loose, they're still running towards the ball with their hands behind the back, which doesn't allow them to kind of run freely. Like, is the kind of like, is that rule around, you know, unnatural positions? The ball hits your hand and it's not deemed in a natural position, and a natural position is essentially when it's right by your side, which isn't natural in and of itself. Like, does that rule really like hampering? It's a good word. Does it hamper the ability for defenders to defend?
Yeah. Well, the first question immediately is, how many penalties have we given away this season? Barely any. I think we gave one against Brentford.
Arsenal.
Yeah. That's it.
Is that it? Is it? Okay.
Well,
I love that. We both answer at the same time and say entirely different things. Too many. Barely any.
Yeah. Maybe one against Chelsea. But like, naturally, they want to defend like that. But, you know, if you defend and get out the ball, you can immediately break. But yeah, I mean, you can't. It's stopping defenders actually defending the box. Nowadays, you can't. I think it's the Paul Palmer scored 1, Saka scored 1, and I think Buemo scored 1, and that is it. Yeah. We can see. Apparently, we gave 2 away against Brighton, did we? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, 2 pens there as well. Yeah, not for handballs though.
Oh no, for handballs. I mean, it's
Romero's at Arsenal was a handball.
Yeah. And I think that's the only one.
Yeah.
But we don't. I mean,
Eric Dyer got caught a couple of times last season, didn't he, with handballs as well?
Yeah, but that's just the way it is. I mean, it's stopping defenders actually want to defend in the penalty area.
It's a stupid rule. It's a stupid rule.
You know?
Yeah. It should be down to the just like let it go to the referee's judgment and take the rough with the smooth with it. A couple of super chats here. Ethan Bates is saying the amount Højbjerg lost the ball is embarrassing. I completely agree, mate. I'm going to get his stats up so we can. I just want to verify them because I'm not being hateful on him. And Simon Kerwood again, big up Simon, appreciate that, mate. Could you imagine if our missus gave us as many chances as we give signings? Yeah, I mean, I haven't got a bird, so yeah, I can dream. You can dream with that scenario. I'm happy by myself.
It's a disgrace.
It's a disgrace. Let's talk about Romero though. For me, I thought Romero was phenomenal today. I know obviously there was a little bit of the 2 goals. It's on his side as well. He was a mistake maybe for the second one that popped under his legs or under Van der Ven's legs. But generally speaking, I thought Romero, once again, I'll say this point once again, I'll scream it from the rooftops. That guy's best ability is his passing. His passing is absolutely the best passing of any centre-back in the Premier League. I don't care what you say.
To the second goal. Is it the second goal?
Yeah, second goal, yeah.
He's outrageous.
Yeah. He zips it into to Skip, right? And then Skip gives it away or a really bad pass from him into Werner's feet. That gets to I think that Romero's best ability, he's good at a lot of things, but his best ability is his passing. And you know, I just don't think most midfielders are not expecting him to zip it as fast as he does. He hits it absolutely pinpoint accurate into the feet and at about 50 miles an hour.
And it's the same type of pass. It's not like curved in or outside of the boot. It's with the lace straight to the feet. It's the same pass every single time, but it works.
Yeah, he's like a cricketer with a straight bat, right? Like he's just absolutely perfect.
But
and
today,
he's
I
great
agree.
as well.
His passing by far is his best attribute. And I tell you what, one thing I will say as well about Romero is he's now slowly become like, I didn't think he was. I know there was a few instances where I think defensively he was caught out, but we're not seeing the Romero smash into someone.
He was captain today, Captain Calm.
Yeah, precisely. But a lot of that is to do with the manager and Ange. I would actually like to see how Romero gets on next to Dragicin because they're similar profiles.
Yeah.
So are we going to see the Romero of old? But even Dragicin, when he come on, he's saying, "Look, I want the ball to my feet."
He was cool as a cucumber in the air.
Yeah,
he won 3 headers
into
in
the dragon, mate. Bring out the old garage days. I can't wait till he scores his first header.
Yeah, I'm going to get the sound effect from Street Fighter. Dragustin. I'm definitely going to get that for to drop it on the channel occasionally. Guys, there's still nearly 1,000 people here, and we're not even 500 likes yet.
You freeloaders. It's a disgrace, you frauds.
It's a disgrace.
We need at least 50 new subs in here.
Keep smashing the like button, you frauds. Keep smashing the subscribe, you absolute disgrace. Mate, let's move across to Mickey van der Ven. I want to ask you about Mickey van der Ven. I thought he was a little bit. Look, in the first half, I felt he was a little bit
timid.
Yeah, a little bit ring rusty, just a little bit kind of like just out of it. He got knocked off the ball a couple of times by people. Second half, I felt like he was far better. And then when he had to stretch his legs against Garnacho twice in the space of a couple of minutes, he was just absolutely brilliant. The pace that he shows, he hasn't lost it with his hammy. Didn't show any kind of issues, or he wasn't scared about stretching his legs. But a little bit ring rusty. But then second half was much better. What were your thoughts on him?
Yeah, I thought he was pretty good today. Can't really complain too much. Similar to Bentancur against Bournemouth, it looked like he didn't really want to, go flat out today just in case of risk of getting an injury. What I will say about Van der Ven is it's so good to see him back next to Romero when you've got that calm and composed head. Him as well, passing out from the back, he was very good. And hopefully now we've got both of them fully fit, match fit against Man City. Today, I don't really think he put a foot wrong. I thought he defended both the corners relatively well. And that's one thing you can say about Tottenham. We haven't conceded. I think we're the only team in the league to have not conceded from a corner.
Yeah.
I think it's us and Wolves because those two constantly win practically every header. Fair play. I thought Van der Ven was good today. I'll be interested to see how they get on against Man City though, because that's going to be a different ball game. Because when we played Man City in the first game at the Etihad, we didn't have either of them. We had Royale and Davis. So that's a completely different. Plus, they've got.
I genuinely would. I think we got to talk about this a little bit. Pedro Porro is amazing on the ball, but defensively, the role that he plays, it encourages him to obviously get up the ball, and he gets caught out. And then if you're not getting the help from Sarr, and you're not getting the help from Brennan Johnson, and you've got Ollie Skip just running around like a mosquito to a flame, or like a a firefly, then for me, I feel.
What was? Hang on, pause. What was that?
It wasn't. That's not the phrase. It wasn't mosquito to a phrase. It's something like that, like a mosquito to a light. I don't know what you know what I'm saying. Just running around like a busy bee. But ultimately, doesn't do the supportive role the way Pape Sarr does. I wonder whether in certain games, and maybe Man City is one of them. I've said this already. I'm kind of like running with the 4-4-2 idea. And I sort of took it, did a video on it. I just feel like whether or not Dragicin is a right back who's got more experience being ran out as a centre back, you've got more experience learning how to defend one-on-ones with the likes of Jeremy Doku, with the likes of whoever's going to be down that left side, whether it's Grealish. I just wonder whether or not with 12, 13 days now until that game, do you maybe consider putting Pedro Porro slightly further up the field if there won't be any Sarr, But if we're still without a Decky, or if we still have to make the decision of playing Skippy and Højbjerg, for me, Højbjerg deserves to be dropped. For me, Skippy is still not good enough on the ball, never will be in my mind. So I wonder whether or not you maybe think about putting a Dragusin at right back, Romero and Van der Ven, get Udogie on the left, and then you have Pedro Porro playing as one of the eights with Bentancur.
I'd rather do that.
A moth to a flame. That's what it is. That's the phrase I was talking about. But that's more about
I'd rather
attraction,
do that. I'd much rather bring in. I'd much rather bring in the likes of Pedro Porro in an advanced position, looking at his strengths, than
he's so good on the ball, mate. I think he's wasted a little bit having to get back. I'd rather him be there to be able to just focus on his technicality, focus on his ability to whip the ball, focus on his passing, focus on his shooting. He doesn't like defending, and we might be able, like, not all the time, but in certain games, and I think City could be one. I think that you could maybe put him into the midfield or into the right wing spot, and then give Dragusin the role of right back and let him try and handle Grealish or Foden or whoever it is that's going to be playing on the left-hand side for Man City.
Yeah, I just don't see why we can't potentially try that. There's someone else in my chat said, why can't we put Romero at right back and Dragusin and Van der Ven in the centre backs?
Yeah.
And then
Romero can then get in and play the kind of the inverted, and he's a better ball player.
Because his passing ability is that good.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, you still feel somewhat very comfortable knowing the fact that you've got Van der Ven and Dragusin at the back. But that Man City game, they will stretch us. This isn't everyone's saying, oh yeah, don't worry, we're going to beat Man City. It's guaranteed because it's, we beat them at home. We're not going to go and play Man City the way we normally do. We're going to take the game to Man City, which is the hardest way of beating them because they're going to have space in behind. The only consolation to us is Erling Haaland's apparently ruled out of the game. So, yeah, according to
that injury's dragging on, isn't it? It's not drag us in, it's drag us on.
It doesn't matter. They pulled up without him and still scored 3 goals at St James's Park. Yeah. They're still going to have flipping Kevin De Bruyne fit. And he's going to be fit and firing. And Man City are going to want to retain that FA Cup. I'll tell you now, we beat Man City in the FA Cup. I think we go all the way.
Until we get Liverpool away in the 5th round.
Oh, yeah, that'd be...
that's going to happen, isn't it? I don't care. You got to face him at some point. You got to face him at some point. And Destiny Udogie, you thought, before we get to the subs, Destiny Udogie, you thought was terrible today. Is that what you said? No.
I was arguing on that comment. Don't try and do this. I thought he was good, other than that header, which he nearly scored an own goal. I thought he was good defensively. You haven't got to worry about Udogie. I thought it
was good getting forward as well. I thought he connected well. I think he didn't put too many passes wrong. I thought he was.
Did you see the formation we had at one point? We had a 2 in Romero and Van der Ven, and then a 7. And then a 3 or 2, whatever it was.
How can you have a 2-7-3?
Sorry, 2-7-1. That's the formation we had.
Really?
Yeah, it was at one point we had Richarlison, we had Johnson and Werner on the wings. Then we had in DM positions we had Skip, Udogie, and Højbjerg, and then in an attacking position we had Pedro Porro, Bentancur, and
Werner, was it?
And Werner, yeah, or something like that. The heat map, it looked like a W.
Nice. Well, listen, yeah. I liked it. I thought, look, again, I think that today you walk away from the game going, how much possession did we have in the end? Let's have a look. In the end, I think we had
something like that.
I'll get rid of this.
64%.
In the end, we had where's the stats?
64% possession, 16 shots, 6 on target, 538 passes.
Is that what it says?
Yeah.
Where's the stats? Oh, there it is. Statistics. 64%, 16, 6. Yeah.
538 passes at Old Trafford.
More corners than a dodecahedron. Unbelievable amount of corners. Like that. Yeah. And yeah, look. Yeah, thanks very much. I'll take it. I would have taken a point before the game. As the game was moving on, I thought, to the last 15 minutes, I'll just walk away. Everyone's looking tired. Just get out of here with a point. We take 4 points off, or 4 points off United during the game. You can't really complain, or over the season, sorry. And then we move on, right? But and what do you reckon we're going to have anyone back from Manchester City that wasn't available today? We're still not going to have Bissouma and Sarr. Still not going to have Son. Do you think we're going to have Maddison? You think Maddison will be ready? Yeah,
and Kulu. Now, do you know what I'd play again? This is just me against Man City. My front three, I play Kulu in the 10, right? I'd play Porro on the right. I would actually throw Porro in at right wing.
Porro at right wing.
Or so you
don't think Brennan Johnson would suit that, because City are going to come and play against us, and we might be able to go on the break?
I don't think we're going to play like that. I think we're going to try and. I think City will be the team on the break. I think you'll very much see Tottenham have a lot of the ball against Man City. I mean, how much of the ball did we have when you played them at the Etihad? At the Etihad, we had 45%. So it wasn't exactly like night and day in terms of possession. I think you'll see as well. I mean, Kulusevski would be my first name on the sheet against Man City, because that guy always turns up against them. Always turns up. Every single time he turns up against Man City. Whether he's playing in the number 10, or do you know what I'd play? I would play Porro, but I'd make sure that Bentancur and Højbjerg are sitting, or whoever it is, Bentancur and it probably will be Bentancur and Højbjerg are sitting when Kulu pushes up and Maddison pushes up, because on that counter attack they're going to be very dangerous. So,
what about that's the last people to talk about before we round off, mate? The subs. Oh, actually, Vicario. Did you blame Vicario at all? I don't think he had much to do in the second half, but in the first half, do you think he was responsible for Højlund? Could he have stopped Højlund's goal? Or was it just too powerful?
I don't think the keeper on the planet gets anywhere near that. You just got to. I mean, Romero could have done
your
better.
Casillas 94 card. I mean, some of the goals that he's been keeping out against me recently makes.
I mean, Casillas is 92. If you know. I mean, that guy could. He could save a Titanic. By the way, Madrid are 2-0 up in the Spain Super Cup final against Barcelona.
Interesting.
2-1 now. Barcelona have just scored, but Romero, he kind of holds him off. Romero should have got closer for me, but take nothing away. The finish is devastating. It's like roof of the net. No, I don't care how good you are. The only way you stop that is if you rush out. No keeper's getting their arm to that. So maybe you'd have to be overcritical to say he should have done better there. I think that's more on the defender. Like, that's an unbelievable goal. And Rashford, he can't really see because he's got 3 or 4 players in front of him, and Rashford just calmly dispatches it in the corner. So I don't think he could have done. I don't think he could have done too much wrong. Did you see a stat that Sky Sports put out that expected XG saved is now a stat? And the Bundesliga are pushing a stat called what is it?
Expected points.
No, expected. Oh, I've got to find it. It was all over Twitter. It was like, what are we doing? There's stats, and then there's like field tilt. Have you heard about field tilt?
I've heard about it. I don't know what it is, though.
There was another one in the Bundesliga that come out this weekend. It was like, what was it? There you go. Expected escapes.
The Houdini.
Yeah, when you get out of being pressed. Expected escapes.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, big up Tom Martin in the chat.
Expected escapes. Unbelievable. Yeah. The Houdini of the Year award goes to Manchester United with the amount of escapes. This is insane. This is I mean, the stats thing is just getting out of control. All right, mate. So listen, just to round it off, buddy, what we're going to do, guys, we're going to leave it in a moment, and then you are going to get redirected over to Henry's channel, which the show doesn't start till 8 o'clock. But just make sure you're back, bookmark it or whatever you got to do to get back over there. Henry, just quickly though, Radu Dragusin Brian Hill. Who else came on? Who else came off the bench? Was it just those two? And Emerson Royale.
I don't think Royale did too much. I mean, you can't really say anything with those. I mean, Brian Hill, I think he just likes to run at players, you know.
Yeah.
If you could have Timo Werner's kind of physique with Brian Hill's football brain of running at players, you'd have a serious player.
Yeah.
He just likes to run at players. Come on, did a couple of nice things. I don't think you can really be critical of any of them. It was good to see Dragusin on the Spurs sheet, on the Spurs team, and you notice he comes on and he doesn't concede a goal. So, you know, how many other Rolls Royces on the football team can say that they've come on and kept the game as it is? You know, an absolute Rolls Royce. Enter the Dragon. And if you can't see what the Dragon's doing, mate, you can F off down to flipping the Emirates.
Mate, listen, guys, I want to say massive thank you to everyone who's been around. We're going to leave it there. We're going to send you over to Henry's show. Make sure we'll see you at 8 o'clock. Henry, are we beating Man City?
Yes. Hesitation is there, but yes.
Love it. Guys, you'll see me tomorrow for a stream with regards to the FFP thing. All right, thank you for all the good super feedback about that show last night. And we'll be doing the members show as well tomorrow to catch up with everyone and get everyone's thoughts on the game. And we've got 10 days now to figure out how to resolve any solutions and build for the rest of the season. Like, subscribe, and comment on the way out, guys. Love you all. Have a wonderful Sunday. We'll see you in 25 minutes over on Henry's. Come on, you Spurs.